Hi everyone, welcome to Veronika Hug. Today I'll show you how you can make such a creative surprise card. So I already have 8 pieces here and I'll show you the 9th piece. So you can make this as a gift. My idea is to make it a nice way to reveal a pregnancy or even your baby's gender, but it can be used for pretty much any occasion you would like to announce. The text here you can do as you would personally prefer, but when you open this, let me show you. When you open the little shirt, then you have more details inside. So I'll show you how to do this all by yourself. You will need 1 spool of Woolly Hugs Charity. So this is called charity because 25 cents of each spool sold goes to a humanitarian cause of my choice. If you would like to see more info, you can find that on my website. So anyway, 2 spools give 5 pieces, which means that 1 spool will give me about 5 halves of a shirt. Then you need 3 buttons per piece. My needles are 3 millimeters and I have the short ones because I won't be doing a lot of stitches at once on them. So anyway, let's get ready and start. I'll show you the side with the buttonholes because then you can do the other side super easy. You just need to skip that part where you do a hole. So we will do the more complicated half and then you'll know how to do them both. So we are going to get started with stitches as always, and we will do 16. (15) and 16. And now we do this side with the buttonholes, so that's on the left side, and this one you can do much easier. You would just leave the beginning thread a bit longer so that you have enough to do the buttons as well, and that way you don't have to weave in much more, so it's even easier. So after the 16 stitches, take the first stitch onto your right needle and then do just knit stitches. So this time we're going to be doing the garter stitch. Last stitch in knit stitch, turn, thread in front of the needle, and take the first stitch onto the other needle, put the thread behind the needle, and continue with knit stitches. Then we get a front side here on the side, the pretty one. The other one is what's going to be on the back. So this is the nice side and the nice edge here, as well as our first rib. And we will do 7 ribs until we get to the first buttonhole. The last stitch you always do in knit stitch. Here you should have a nice edge like this because you're doing knit stitches at the end. So also I'll just shortly recommend the Woolly Hugs collections and the Woolly Hugs charity as well. So as I mentioned, it's 25 cents per each soul's pool to a humanitarian cause or a charity cause. So I think it's always a good thing to combine those two, and that's why I decided to take the initiative to do this. So here I showed you that I did 8 pieces here. So you can pretty much do all of these in one evening if you have a bit of experience. So it's pretty easy. You just need to remember to do additions for the sleeves after a while. But apart from that, it's pretty much super easy. You can do it while you watch TV or while you just sit in your living room and relax for the evening. So it shouldn't be something that's too complicated and that you really need to very much concentrate on. With that said, this is also a great project for beginners. You might be needing a little bit more time to do something like this, but still, even if it takes you a little while longer, you still see results pretty quickly, which is always good and keeps you motivated to start and learn how to do a bit more complicated projects. So don't be afraid to try it out. I promise it's not going to be as difficult as it maybe seems. So here you see the ribs from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means I need 4 more rows. So 2 rows per rib, and we need a total of 7 ribs. So if I do another back row at the end, I won't have another rib. One, two, three, four, 5, and the front row is the one that gets the rib in here, and that's why you need to do one of each if you want a nice and complete rib. Six, so just one more. So I paid attention to how long it takes me to do just one half, and I am at about 30 minutes. But if you're a beginner, you will of course need a bit longer, but still you can kind of see how fast it goes. So even if you need 2 hours per the one half, that would be pretty good because you get a result within one day. Now we have the 7 rows. Edge stitch, then 1 knit stitch, and then 2 together knitwise for the buttonhole. Then we do 1 yarn over the needle and we continue with regular knit stitches. And now here we again do knit stitches. So this was the back row, and that's where our buttonhole is from the back side. Eight ribs, and now we do 7 more, just as we did so far. So just knit stitches, and after 15 ribs from the beginning, we will do another hole for the button, and then after 18 again. So here, and then I'll show you how to add stitches for the sleeves. So let's do 18 ribs now, but make sure you do a hole after 15 ribs, just like I showed you a moment ago. So now I have 18 ribs. I did the front row, and now we will add 4 stitches. The side with the buttons would have first the additions and then the rest of the row, because you want your 2 halves to be mirrored. So here on this side, on the left side, and on the other would be the right side. So you would do the stitches right away. So let's do the row to the end. The length of the sleeve you can vary, of course, according to your own wishes and preferences. Now let's start new stitches just like we did at the beginning. So I'll do it slowly so that you can follow, but it's really just like when you are at the beginning. So the thing you need to remember this time is that you pull the stitch to the last existing one. Six, 7, and turn your work. Edge stitch, and now we will go in through the back side and do it knitwise. The stitches are pretty tight on the needle, but that's okay. And now you can just continue as you did so far. I'll show you the second method for the other half. The needle from the right side in. Take the thread through and again go in through the back of the stitch, and then repeat the same with the following stitches. You can follow my lead, but it's not very difficult, and you'll notice that after a while. Five, 6, 7, and now here again we continue the same way, so the edge stitch goes onto the other needle and then you do all the stitches knitwise. Now I have 19 ribs since the beginning. And now I am at this section here and I'll continue till I get to the neck opening. Let me see. So 4 more rows, then we get the third hole. So after the 23 rows, since the beginning, we get the third buttonhole somewhere around here. And after 26 ribs, let me show you. So here, 3 ribs after the hole, I'll show you how to do the neck opening. So 23 ribs and the hole, and 3 more rows for the next section. So we will be right here then. I have 26 ribs and the sleeve section has 8. 2, 4, 6, 8, and here the last buttonhole. So the right half with the buttons, we would first do the row and then begin the next section. Edge stitch on the needle, 1 knit stitch and pull the edge stitch over to cast off. And we will do that with 6 stitches. Five and 6, and the rest of the stitches you do knitwise. And back. And then here for the section, we will lessen in every 2 rows by 4 stitches. So let me show you. First stitch we take onto the needle and then one knit stitch, and the following two we do pulled over one another, so together. And I do that in the following 3 rows as well. In the end, I have 10 stitches less, and then I can cast off and finish my half. So we will have a total of 31 ribs. And here in the sleeves, in case of the right half, where the next section is on the other side, so the opposite, we would do these two together, pulled over one another, but since we are doing the left half, we will do that on the other end. There we go. So here we do this section and on the other side, on the opposite side, so that it's mirrored. Yeah, that's what you want in the end. We are almost done. And again, the 2 stitches together. Do now here again, we do the 3rd and 4th stitch together. So 13 stitches I have in this row, and I have here a total of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and when I have 13 or 31 ribs from the beginning, I can cast off all of the stitches. There we are. And when you are done, you just have to prepare a piece of sturdier paper or even some cardboard or whatever you choose. You can print your message on it, or you can also do it by hand. Personally, I would recommend doing it by hand. I know a lot of people don't like their handwriting, but as long as it's readable, I kind of think it's a bit more personal and it brings another note to it. So anyway, I'm mentioning both options. and then cut the thread off. And we can put it together now. So here I have an A4 sized print paper, a bit sturdier than the regular one, and I wrote something in German here, but that's of course up to you. Then you put your piece over the surprise text. So now you want it put together with the buttons, of course, so make sure to do that. And then you will align nicely with the text. And then mark with your pencil the contour. You can go a bit under the piece, so that way you don't have the tape or the glue visible later. And make sure you do just the outer sides because you don't want to glue the inside. I have here double-sided tape and I'll just go along the lines now. Put the piece on here and press onto the tape or glue. And now you can, when you give it to the special person, open the shirt. And then when you open it, read the surprise text or the details of your news. So the next step is also pretty optional, but I like to put it inside an envelope so that it looks like a real card, and then I think the surprise factor is even nicer. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for the next project. Bye!